People all across the country are boycotting Target for the next 40 days. The retailer facing major blowback over its decision to roll back diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. KRON 4's Sarah Stinson has more tonight from shoppers.
Those participating say they hope it sends a strong message to the retailer.
Target is warning about consumer spending and the impact of tariffs. The retail giant said today that consumer confidence is declining. It said its sales declined in February and it expects sales to only grow around 1% this year. The company also said tariff uncertainty will impact profit this quarter.
Before you walk into Target again, stop and listen. That red bullseye might seem friendly, but behind the clean aisles and stylish shelves is a store full of secrets. Some will waste your money, others could waste your time, and a few might actually put you at risk. You won't hear about this in a commercial. You won't read it on the price tag, but the truth is there if you know where to look. No list, no fluff. Just facts you need to know before you scan another barcode, tap that self-checkout, or trust what you see on the screen. If you've ever wondered what Target doesn't want you to notice, keep watching, because once you know, you'll never shop there the same way again. Most shoppers at Target feel like they're scoring a deal when they see that bright yellow clearance sticker, but what you probably don't know is that those stickers are sometimes designed to trick your brain more than help your wallet. Here's how it works. The sticker shows a markdown like 15% or 30% off, and it often looks urgent, like the final price you'll get, but in a lot of cases, it's not the final sale at all. Target has a system where items go through multiple clearance rounds, and if something doesn't sell, it gets marked down again the following week. That means the item you're holding today for 15% off might be 50% off by next Monday, but they don't tell you that. The goal is to move inventory without fully discounting it too soon, and since most people assume that a clearance sticker means buy it now or miss out, they grab it without thinking twice. The truth is, Target tags items in phases using codes in the top right corner of the sticker, and only employees or trained shoppers know how to read them. Some people wait until the sticker ends in 0.08 or 0.04, which usually signals the final markdown, but regular shoppers are never told this, and Target never advertises the cycle. It creates a feeling of urgency that pushes you to buy things before the best deal actually hits. So while you think you're beating the system, you might actually be jumping the gun and paying more than you need to, all because of how the sticker is designed to make you feel like the clock is ticking. Target's app might look like a helpful tool that saves you money, but what most people don't realize is that it doesn't always show the same price for everyone. In fact, the price you see on your phone can change depending on where you are, what store you're near, or even how you've shopped in the past. This is called dynamic pricing, and while it sounds high-tech, it's really just a way for companies to charge people different prices for the same exact product. For example, if you're shopping from home and checking prices in the app, you might see one amount, but when you walk into the store or connect to the Target Wi-Fi, the app could suddenly show a higher price. And if you don't double check before heading to the register, you could end up paying more without even knowing it. Some shoppers have even tested this by pulling up the app at home, then comparing it to what the app shows once they're inside the store, and the difference can be anywhere from a few cents to a few dollars. Target says it's about matching local pricing or online deals, but the truth is, this system makes it easy to confuse people. You think you're getting the best deal because you're using the app, but that deal might only apply to a different location. And since Target won't always price match the online app price once you're in the store, you have to be careful. If you want the lower price, you sometimes have to ask for it at the customer service desk and hope the employee agrees. It turns what should be a simple shopping experience into a guessing game, and most people have no clue it's even happening. Another thing shoppers need to watch out for at Target is the price difference between what's listed on the shelf and what actually rings up at the register. You might think that the price tag you see on the shelf is the price you'll pay, but that's not always true. In a lot of stores, items get moved around, sales change, and shelf tags don't get updated fast enough. That means you could see a product marked at one price, but when the cashier scans it, the system charges something higher. It's not just a small mistake either. Some shoppers have noticed being charged $3 or $4 more than what the sign said, and if you're not paying close attention, you won't even realize it until you've already paid and walked out. Target employees usually fix the price if you point it out, but only if you notice it in time. Most people are in a rush, juggling their phone, cart, and maybe even kids, so they don't have time to double check every line on the screen. These kinds of pricing problems usually happen when stores get too busy or when staff can't replace signs fast enough during weekly sales changes. And while Target isn't the only store this happens in, they don't do much to warn you about it. There's no reminder at checkout to check shelf tags or question prices, so the system quietly charges more than advertised and lets the burden fall on the shopper to catch it. It's a smart business move if no one complains, but it's not fair. If you want to protect your money, you need to scan each item in the app before buying or pay attention as things ring up. Otherwise, you could be walking out with a receipt that doesn't match the deal you thought you were getting. Many shoppers love Target store brands like Good & Gather, Up & Up, and A New Day because they're cheaper than big name products and they look pretty similar. But what most people don't realize is that these brands are often hit or miss when it comes to quality. Sometimes the product is just as good as the name brand and it feels like a smart choice, but other times it can feel completely different and not in a good way. A lotion that's supposed to be just like a popular skincare brand might feel greasy or have a weird smell. A pair of jeans from a Target clothing line might look great in the dressing room, but fall apart after 2 washes. Target makes these brands to look like the real thing and place them right next to name brands on the shelf to make your decision feel easy, but they don't always tell you who actually makes the product or how much it differs from what it's imitating. Most of these private label items are made by third-party companies, and sometimes the suppliers change without warning. That means the snack you bought last month might taste different today because it came from a new factory or used cheaper ingredients, and the reviews on these items are sometimes filtered or hard to trust. So even if the box looks the same, the quality could drop and you wouldn't even know. Target knows that many people will keep buying the store brand just because it looks like a better deal, but the truth is you're taking a gamble every time. Some things might be fine, but others won't hold up, and there's no clear way to tell until you've already spent your money. One thing a lot of shoppers don't realize is that Target's rewards program, called Target Circle, has a hidden catch that can cost you money if you're not paying close attention. When you use the Target app or enter your phone number at checkout, you earn rewards and offers that are stored in your account. It sounds great on paper, but there's a detail that most people miss. Those rewards don't last forever. They quietly expire after a short time, and if you don't use them before the deadline, they disappear without warning. There's usually no pop-up alert to remind you, and you won't get a text or an email unless you dig deep into the settings. That means someone could shop at Target for weeks, rack up a few dollars in rewards, and lose it all just because they forgot to use it in time. What's worse is that the expiration dates are buried inside the app under your wallet tab, and unless you're constantly checking, there's a good chance you'll miss it. Many people assume their rewards are like store credit that just waits until their next trip, but that's not how it works. Target designed the system so that the money disappears after a short time, which keeps unused rewards from ever being paid out. It's a clever way to make the program look generous while saving the company tons of money. So unless you're tracking your rewards and planning your purchases before they vanish, you're probably earning far less value than you think. That money could have covered part of your next receipt, but if you don't claim it, Target just keeps it and moves on. Most people trust that when they buy something new from Target, they're getting a clean, unused product, but what many shoppers don't know is that some returned items go right back on the shelves without proper checks. Target takes back a huge number of returns every day, and to keep things moving quickly, employees often restock those items with little more than a quick look. If the box isn't obviously torn and the item looks okay on the surface, it might go straight back onto the floor. That sounds efficient, but it's risky. Electronics that were opened might be missing cables or parts. Beauty items could have been used once and still resealed. Even things like clothing can be returned, tagged, and reshelved without being washed or inspected carefully. There have been reports from customers who bought headphones that didn't work, or games that were already scratched, only to find out they had unknowingly purchased someone else's return. Sometimes small damage or wear is missed during the restocking process, especially when workers are under pressure to clear out the return bins fast. And because Target doesn't label these as returned items, you have no way of knowing if what you're buying is brand new or not. It all looks the same on the shelf. You'd expect a store this big to have a strong process for checking returned merchandise, but the truth is that corners get cut, especially during busy seasons or in understaffed locations. Unless you're inspecting every product yourself before buying, you could be paying full price for something that isn't really new. A lot of people like using self-checkout at Target because it feels fast and easy, but what most shoppers don't realize is how closely those machines are being watched. theft, and how quickly a simple mistake can be flagged as suspicious. Every self-checkout has security cameras built right into the screen, and those cameras are constantly recording. The system uses software that watches your hand movements and tracks every item you scan, which means even a small slip, like forgetting to scan something or accidentally double scanning a barcode, could set off an alert. And while the idea is to catch theft, it also leads to embarrassing moments for regular customers who didn't do anything wrong. People have been stopped by security or store staff just for putting something in a bag too early or accidentally blocking the camera's view. In some cases, employees have watched from a distance and rushed over thinking someone was trying to steal, when really it was just a teenager trying to check out snacks after school. It can be stressful and uncomfortable, especially when you feel like you're being treated like a criminal over a tiny mistake. What's worse is that Target rarely explains how this system works, so most shoppers don't even know how closely they're being monitored. The setup is meant to reduce theft, but it also creates tension and anxiety for honest people who just want to check out and go. If you've ever felt like someone was watching you a little too closely while using the self-checkout, you're not imagining it. The system is doing exactly what it was built to do. When you're browsing through product reviews on Target's website, it's easy to assume you're reading real, unfiltered feedback from other shoppers. But the truth is, not all reviews actually make it through. What most people don't know is that Target moderates the reviews posted on its site, meaning some negative comments may never get published at all. Before any review goes live, it often gets checked by a third-party company that filters out anything considered too harsh, too critical, or off-topic. In theory, this is supposed to catch spam or inappropriate language, but in reality, it can also silence real customers who had a bad experience and just wanted to warn others. If someone writes a review saying a product broke after one use or didn't match the description, there's a chance that review won't show up if it's flagged for review policy violations. And even if it does make it through, it may get buried under a wave of 5-star ratings from people who were offered a free product in exchange for feedback. This gives shoppers the impression that a product is much better than it really is. Some people have even tried leaving multiple reviews after a bad experience, only to find that none of them were approved. Target is not the only retailer that does this, but they don't openly explain it either. You think you're reading honest opinions, but what you're really seeing is a carefully managed collection of reviews that favors positivity and hides complaints. So the next time you're scrolling through a product with perfect stars and glowing comments, keep in mind that the full story might be missing. Target advertises its price match policy like it's a helpful way to save money, but what most people don't realize is that the rules behind it are filled with so many conditions that it becomes almost impossible to use. On the surface, it sounds simple. If you find a lower price from certain competitors, Target will match it, but once you try to use it in real life, you start hitting roadblocks. The first problem is that you have to prove the lower price is current, in stock, and from a store that Target recognizes as an approved competitor. That sounds fair, but it becomes tricky fast. Online prices change constantly, and if the product goes out of stock for even a moment, Target can deny the match. You also have to request the price match at the time of purchase, not after, and only for identical items, which means the same color, model number, and size. On top of that, you can't use any Target coupons or promotions when you request a match, which cancels out a lot of the savings you thought you'd get. There are also blackout dates during big sales like Black Friday where price matching doesn't apply at all, and in some stores, employees aren't trained well on how it works, so you might get different answers depending on who you ask. All of this turns what sounds like a money-saving option into a confusing process that few people have time to figure out. Target includes this policy to look customer-friendly, but in reality, it works in their favor because most shoppers either give up or don't even try. If you don't know the rules by heart and have proof ready at checkout, your chances of getting that lower price are a lot smaller than you'd expect. One of the sneakiest things Target does is with its seasonal items, and it's something most people never notice. Around holidays like Valentine's Day, Halloween, or Christmas, the store fills aisles with themed decorations, snacks, and clothing that look festive and fun. But what shoppers don't realize is that many of those items are marked up before being discounted later, just to make it look like you're getting a better deal. For example, a plastic pumpkin bucket might be put on shelves for $8, even though it only cost a couple dollars to make. Then, after the holiday passes, that same bucket gets a red clearance tag and drops to $4. You feel like you're saving 50%, but in reality, the original price was already inflated. This trick creates the illusion of a big discount when Target was still making a solid profit the whole time. It works especially well on impulse buys, which are things people grab just because they're in the moment or feel limited time pressure. Bright signs and fake scarcity make customers rush to buy without thinking. But if you wait just a little longer, prices drop quickly once the event is over. Some shoppers even plan their entire trips around this cycle, buying discounted decorations and stocking up for next year. Target knows that most people won't do that. They rely on early shoppers to pay full price or grab items the second they see a sale tag, even if the sale isn't really much of a deal. The store never warns you that bigger discounts are coming soon. Instead, it uses timing, colors, and limited shelf space to push seasonal items fast and make full price markups look like smart savings. So the next time you're walking into Target thinking you've got it all figured out, remember what you just heard. That friendly bullseye comes with a price, and it's not always printed on the shelf. From pricing tricks to hidden policies, what you don't see can cost you more than you think. If this video helped you see things differently, make sure to hit that subscribe button and share this with someone who shops at Target without asking questions. And before you check out again, check back here because we're just getting started.